within the materials management engine, you could say that an item is serialized or that it's maintained under batch control. Batch control would mean that if I receive a batch of items from a particular vendor, I can relate or group all of those items together into a single batch so that I could track it as such. Or if I am using the manufacturing component and I produce a batch of items, I could also say that this particular batch was all grouped together. So if I were the manufacturer of cheese in this case, I could say that this batch, all the items that I have in stock, perhaps were made under the same date or same batch. Some of the benefits of using batch control would be that I can do a recall and find all the items or trace back to the different end users or customers who actually procured that item if in fact there was something wrong with it, so I can do some sort of recall. But if I'm looking at serial numbers, for example, if I say that an item is serialized, when I receive those items, the system creates those serial numbers for me. Initially, those serial numbers are not specified, meaning that I receive them in. I could specify them at the time of the receipt of goods and purchasing, but I must specify them prior to them being shipped. So if an item is serialized, the system will manage that. The serial numbers are managed here. Again, please bear with me. Typically, you would not have cheese as serialized. Typically, this would apply to items that have a different value or a different purpose. But again, please bear with me. You'll find that in these demos I'm doing a lot of things like that. So let's pretend that this particular cheese that I'm stocking is serialized. And here are the different serial numbers down below. So I can see I've got 10 in stock. And here are the different serializations. Now, I knew I have 406 in stock, but quickly before this demo, I quickly initialized 10. I changed it. So I had 400, I actually had 396 prior to this. I changed it to serialized, received in 10 more, so now I only have 10. But typically, you'll have a serial number for each item that you have in stock. And again, as these items are received, you can optionally specify the serial numbers then. But prior to it being shipped to a customer or distributor, you'll need to associate that serial number. From that point forward, the system now knows that this particular customer received this specific serial number. Obviously, that's another form of costing. There are obviously many forms of costing within the materials management engine: LIFO, FIFO, average, standard, etc. But serialization actually serves as another form of costing, meaning that if I ship this particular serial number to a customer, that is the specific cost for that particular item. So there are quite a few purposes of serialization, but this is how, if I wanted to manually work with the serial numbers within the materials management engine.